Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about how to write a research paper. We will discuss about how we can do the planning, research and writing of a research paper in a systematic manner. So what is research paper? Research paper is in-depth consideration of a topic or a research question. It is the presentation of an original statement, thesis statement. It is also called the engagement with the primary and secondary sources of the data that we are collected and interpreted. It also entails how we can contribute something new to the field of the research that is already existing there. So a research paper is a piece of academic writing that seeks to make an argument about a particular topic or try to answer a particular question or try to establish a new fact. So research paper might have different purpose. It should do some creative work or some beneficial work to the society. So there are three stages of writing process. First we have to research and plan, and then we have to start writing, and then we have to revision. So after writing we have to revise, we have to paraphrase, we have to edit, proofread the written content. So in the research and planning stage, you will come up with a topic or question that fits the scope of your assignment, and try to find and study the relevant sources and outline the structure of your paper. So these three steps are very important for writing a research paper. So we will discuss about research and planning, how we can do it in a proper manner. It informs your thinking about the topic and shapes the structure of the research paper. Understanding your assignment or the research question. When is your deadline? What word count you are aiming for? What is the goal of the assignment of your writing research paper? What topic you can write about? So consider how long you have until your deadline and plan out an appropriate length of time to spend on research, writing and revision. So we have to assign our time schedule for all three stages. Only then we can complete a research paper in a timely manner. So choosing a topic is very important. Clearly defining and narrow down your topic to a particular theme so that you can do a better research. Sometimes you are given a list of choices and you have to select some topic and you have to do some research. Sometimes you have freedom to choose your own research question, research topic and start writing your research paper. Sometimes consider what was covered in the courses or already you have learned, and sometimes we follow our curiosity, try to find the answer to some unanswered questions. If you are given a list of theme or questions to choose from, consider which one seems to be most intriguing to you, which is more interesting to you, which one can have the most relevance in your research work or in future career. So doing the research, the real work start here. Start exploring the literature on your topic that you have chosen. Use books, journals and other reliable sources available in your library online resources. Consider a variety of perspectives presented by different authors, researchers, scholars. Use your reading to inform your arguments. Keep note of sources, detail and useful quotations so that you can quote sources and write the references properly. Scholarly books and journals articles are generally the main sources to rely on for the research, but the open to finding relevant informations from other sources like expert opinions and other sources can be explored. Primary versus secondary sources. Primary sources provide the direct first-hand evidence. Secondary sources provide commentary or analysis. So primary sources are those that provide direct information, like we do survey, we take interview of person, first-hand evidence regarding your topic. They are often the direct object of your analysis, while the secondary sources are the sources that are already written reports of the research committee or some government agency, government policies, document, etc. will be the secondary sources. The Cambridge Companion to the Victorian Novel, John I. by Coleridge, Ode to a Nightingale by John Keats, a journal article about 19th century literature. So these are type of the sources which we can find, and which of these sources should be considered as a primary source. So if you are reading all these sources, then it will be called secondary sources. But when we are doing research on our own, we are going for survey, we are observing some phenomena, then it will be primary sources. Primary sources and the secondary sources, as we discussed in the previous section, and the literary text themselves, Jane I and Ode to Nightingale, this would be the direct object of your analysis. So sometimes we can call them as a primary source. The secondary sources would be the journal article and the book of essays. These sources discuss the same or similar text as your own paper, and we will structure and support your arguments by combining their statement. So example of the primary sources can be interview transcript, work of an art or literature, historical documents, statistical data. Example of secondary sources can be journal article, scholarly books, reviews written by different scholars. In order to engage with existing research on your topic, you will cite and interpret other researches to show where your arguments agree with or depart from the already discussed literature. Evaluating credibility, the CRAAP test. Currency. It is the information up to date, whether you are using the information is concurrent or not. Relevance. Is it relevant to your research or not? Authority. Where is published? Who is the author? So great authors, great publication houses will be more authentic authority source. Accuracy of the data is very important. Where does the information come from? Is it evidence provided where it is provided by the government agency or private agency? Purpose. Why was the information published? So there can be different purpose of the different agencies. Government policy document will be different than the review done by some experts who might be biased for a particular statement. So authority, accuracy, and the purpose, all these 5 elements should be discussed before, so that we can understand whether the sources that we are using are relevant or not. It involves asking yourself a series of questions about a source. The answer will inform whether you should have doubt about the source's credibility or not. So we must focus on concurrency of the data, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. Formulating a thesis statement. State your central argument. Answer your research question, concise, contentious, and coherent manner. Guide your argument. Appropriate sources, and you should have a better idea of what your argument will and how it will fit in the existing literature. Your thesis statement is a statement of your central argument, establishing the purpose and position of your research paper. When you have consulted a variety of appropriate sources, you should have a better idea of what your argument will be and how it will fit in with the existing research. Your thesis statement is a statement of your central argument, establishing the purpose and position of your research paper based on the narrowed down topic that you are choosing for your research. Then outlining a structure. Organize your thought Understand the flow of information and how ideas are related to each other. Ensure nothing is forgotten. Try to make a mind map or diagram so that you can correlate all the related statement, arguments, or sources that you are referring while doing the research. Finally, before you start writing your paper, you want to have a clear idea of the structure of the research paper. To achieve this, it is recommended that to create an outline of your research paper with some assignment. You may even be required to submit an outline before you start. So try to make an outline of your research paper with bullet point of the topic that you will cover in different sections of the paper. Then comes the writing stage. Here, what is your paper about? So first of all, you have to introduce the topic along with the key terms and ideas that you are going to discuss in your research paper. Why is your research paper worthwhile? So tell the reader what your insight into it and how it is more interesting for readers to go through your research paper. How will you make your argument more emphatic? And this will be done through giving cross references of different scholars, different researchers, give some signposting about the structure of the papers. The goal of the introduction is to explain what, why, and how of your research paper and how it will be interesting to discuss further. Begin by presenting what your paper is about. Introduce both the topic and any key idea or terms or concept that you are going to discuss in your research paper. Writing the body of the paper. There are several paragraphs or sections might be there, and each paragraph or section covers one idea. Information presented in a logical order that serves your argument. Contain all your evidences and arguments. Don't save anything for the conclusion. So first of all, you have to write different subsections in the like findings, discussion. The body of your research paper make up the majority of the text and the most flexible part in terms of a structure. Generally, you will have several paragraphs or sections depending upon the length of your paper, each covering a specific idea which must be correlated with the other sections, and these ideas connecting to each other to form your coherent structure of the research paper. So all the ideas that you are going to present for and against your argument should be presented by different scholars. So don't present what you are thinking about, but what other scholars have already told or researched about. Paragraph structure. Flow your outline. Keep your thesis statement in mind and use topic sentences. Make an effective transition between different paragraphs. There are several devices that can help you structure the individual paragraphs in your main body. First, try to follow the outline that you have created already, and feel free to adopt it to your idea. As you start writing, you will find that some new subsections is needed which you might not have already thought previously. So writing the conclusion. No new argument or evidence should be presented in the conclusion. It should summarize your arguments or central idea that you have already discussed in the body of the research paper, that is in the findings and discussion section. Reflect on the limitations of your research and suggest areas of the future research. So the conclusion of your paper summarizes the point you are making and give a sense of finality. It does not present new argument or evidence. The main body contains your whole argument. The conclusion simply reflect what you came before and what was the limitation that and what is the future direction of the research that other researcher can take forward. So writing first draft. Turn ideas into argument. Maintain forward momentum. Write now, perfect later. So first you have to write draft, and then you can proofread, edit, and rewrite the content in a proper paragraph manner. Express yourself clearly. Be prepared to be flexible and cite your sources while writing, because if you don't cite properly, it will be all of a mess and you don't find where you had taken the content. So always try to keep in mind that while writing, always write inline in-text citation as well as the references in the bottom of the paper. As you work on the first draft of paper, there are few priorities to keep in mind. At this point, you are turning your preliminary idea into argument. This is a tricky, and they may not be perfectly formulated, but try to give in a bullet point or brief note. So after writing the draft, you have to do the revision, because your draft is not final. It is all written in the bullet point in an argument. It is not interrelated with other paragraphs. So once you have completed the first draft, it is time to start revisiting it and rewriting it. The revision process is essential to getting your paper into the best possible form before you submit it for any publication. So steps of revising your paper is evaluating, redrafting, editing, and proofreading. Revision involves a number of steps. Like first you have to evaluate what you have written, whether it is relevant or not. If it is not relevant, then you can strike it off and you can redraft again in a proper manner. After redrafting and making the draft, you have to edit and make complete paragraph sentences so that it is readers can read and understand what you are saying in your paper. And after editing is done, you have to proofread and find any error or mistakes, grammatical mistakes that you have done, and try to make it final. It is important to look at the big picture before you zoom into the detail. For example, if a waste of time to check a paragraph for perfect grammar and punctuation, if you later end up cutting it, and it will be a time consuming. Evaluating of the first draft is very important. Does it line up with your revision of the paper? If it is not fitting in the thesis or research statement, then you can leave it. If there is something that is missing, then you have to research and find out what is missing and add up in the research paper. Is it clear? If it is not clear, then rewrite the paragraph, expand the idea so that reader can understand it properly. Would a different structure work better? So if you have written in a bullet manner, will it be more logical to present it in a graphical manner? Should anything be cut or added? So first look over your first draft to find areas for improvement. If you have enough time before your deadline, it is worth leaving it a couple of days before doing so. You will have a more objective view of your paper if you come up with a fresh mind after a few days. Redrafting is prioritizing the biggest changes, reformulating the argument, reordering information, or making some cuts or adding some more information. Once you have evaluated your draft, you can start making changes. Start with the biggest changes to content and structure, and then go for the minor changes. Editing. This is about fixing grammatical error, improving sentence structure, clarifying ambiguity, and removing redundancy in the text. Avoid repetition and making your paragraph coherent and interrelated with each other so that your ideas have a clear flow. Editing refers to looking at the text more closely, resolving grammatical issues, and ensuring clarity of the text. This means going through the text on a sentence by sentence level, looking out for any error or any mistakes in the form of information or in the form of grammatical error. Proofreading is about checking spelling errors, missing words, confused word choices, punctuation marks, missing or excess spaces, stylistic consistency like capitalization, formatting, and referencing. So proofreading involves checking the text for even more local issues, spelling and punctuation error, missing words, or spaces. It is easy to end up with the spelling mistake and missing the correct word in the first draft, but be sure to go through the text carefully to find and correct these errors before submitting it for any publication. So recommended sources is to watch our YouTube channel, youtube.com/track2training for further videos, because we have discussed different topic in different videos and you can get a more clear picture from different videos. Thank you for discussion.